Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to The Product Designer. It's Jimmy, and today I'm going to be going over my physical portfolio. So I pretty much had 7 of these bad boys, and I literally took out the best of the best pages in those, and I literally just put it into one of these portfolio books. So I want to show you guys this one. I'll be flipping through it, and I'll be breaking it up into a multi-part series because there's a lot of work in here that I want to show you guys that maybe you guys will take some inspiration from. But I want to show you guys some of this physical stuff because as a professional and just after graduating and stuff like that and getting jobs, this is not the one that I end up showing employers or anybody that wants to hire me for a gig, because mostly they're just looking for something to see if your skills are good enough for the project. So they just want something real quick. So what I have is a digital portfolio where I just shoot off into an email, or I'll just show them some of my online stuff like Behance pages and whatnot. But physical portfolios, a lot of students will have a actual physical one just because a lot of professors, they make you do homework, they make you draw on paper, they make you print out your work and pin them up for critiques. And so you're going to have a lot of like paper, physical, paper stuff. And you're going to have to figure out how to put them together in an organized fashion in a way where when you're showing people, it's nice. You know what I'm saying? And so you're going to want to get yourself one of these portfolio books to really keep everything organized. I went a little ham and I bought like 7 of these. So these ones here, I'm not paid by them, but I should be, is Itoya Art Portfolios. This one here is an 8.5 by 11 one. And this one is an 11 by 17. So these two sizes are actually going to be what I see used by the most with designers is 8.5 by 11 standard printer size and 11 by 17, which is literally just 2 of these side by sides. They're a decent price, decent quality. You could go ahead and spend way more money or way less money, but I think this is a good middle ground because, I see students, they spend like a couple $100 binding their portfolios together, just spending absolutely crazy amounts of money with these portfolio books. But there are definitely 2 issues that I don't like with these books. One of them being that this front cover here, it's nice when you first buy it, but then later you'll see a lot of blemishes and imperfections in it. So this here is a vinyl cut, and I think this looks really sleek with the glossy sticker of my logo and then the contrast with this matte. Just make things look super sleek. And what a vinyl cutter is it's pretty much just like a giant printer type machine with a blade, and so I'll follow your vector art and then I'll cut it on this giant sheet of vinyl sticker, and then I'll give you this sticker that's cut out of your art, and you could peel it off and then stick it however you want. Let's just flip through this bad boy and let me show you guys what I got in it. I'm not going to go over all of the work. I'll split it up into a couple of videos because it's a lot of stuff in this puppy. All right, so let's open her up. In here we have one of these folder thingies where you can put your loose papers and whatnot. Oh yeah, so my second thing is that this is one of the newer ones, I believe, and the plastic here got a lot better. So once you put your artwork underneath here, it shows much better because the plastic is more clear. But I bought some of the older ones before they had this clearer stuff, and if you take a look at this one, it's a lot more foggy. And if you guys can't tell through the camera, I could definitely tell in person that this plastic here isn't as clear as this plastic. So they definitely improved on it. So if you go ahead and buy one of these, you'll get this nicer, clear plastic. So I did a series recently where I show you guys how to Photoshop like an industrial designer. So I go over and break down all of the techniques that I use to make these. Towards the end, we go in and Photoshop from the beginning a Tesla semi-truck. I usually start off with like an introduction. I like to tell the viewer who's viewing my portfolio what they're actually looking at, so I try to make it as clear as possible with an introduction page. And it's also good to separate my projects. So this here is an Oakley project. They made us do 3 different things. This is a helmet, and you'll see a boot and a pair of goggles. And I wish they made something like this. So that's kind of neat. Here is the boot. flipping through it. So these here are printed on 11 by 17. Some of them are, I think, glossy paper. Some of them are matte paper, but it's all inkjet printed. I really like how inkjet comes out a lot more than like laser printing or anything like that. So here is a project where you're supposed to take a brand and take a product that that brand doesn't produce, learn the brand languages, learn the different shapes and how the things look in that brand, and apply it to the product. So for this case, I have a couple projects like that. For this case here, it's going to be Puma brand with a sport bike. Here is another angle. This is the side view here. Let's see, and usually when you're working on projects like this, definitely crank the DPI up to like 300 at the minimum, you know, because then you'll end up printing it about this large, and things will just turn out really crispy instead of pixelated. Okay, so this here is a Ferrari Flashlight. So again, just taking a brand and applying that brand language style onto the flashlight. So here I pretty much have like the line of Ferraris, and what I did was I put tracing paper on top of them, and I pretty much just studied the different shapes that they use. So that's what you guys see right here. Some of my sketches is I'm just trying to study it, and so this is a cool way to visually show that in a portfolio. And here are some of my sketches. This is all drawing in perspective. You can see here there's like a bunch of contour lines, and this is just me kind of discovering what this thing is going to look like. So here is another concept that I wanted to deal with, and just going based off a couple different directions. This one's a little bit more larger than that other one, and this one's kind of funny right here. It's literally just taking the elements of the F12 Ferrari and applying it onto this flashlight. So I went really literal with this one, which is pretty hilarious. It just looks like a flashlight car for sure. And then I ended up with something like this right here. This is the final design, and I end up rendering this one, which you guys will see in the next page here. So here is an exploded view of the flashlight with all the different components, and here is the manual rendering. This here is all sketched in, you know, pencil and paper, and then all of this darker red here is marker, like a Copic marker or something like that, and white Prismacolor pencil with some black Prismacolor pencil I can see there, and some chalk. So this here is all just chalk. So that's manual rendering. You're definitely going to learn that when you go through school. One student who graduated like 10 years ago came back. They needed somebody to fill a position that one of my drawing professors, he was going to leave and go back to his country, and so they needed somebody to fill the class and teach it for the remainder of the semester. And so that professor came back and he actually taught us how to Photoshop. That was his main skill, was to Photoshop products. So these are my first couple of projects where he taught us how to do the techniques that he used in order to Photoshop these, and I kind of evolved them and tweaked his techniques in my own way. So go ahead and watch that How to Photoshop Like an Industrial Designer. Search it up on YouTube or check out the links down in the description. So if you guys want to learn, definitely check that out for sure. This here is a shoe, and this year he taught us how to apply materials and textures onto the shapes. This year I try to make as crispy and as real as possible, so that's really playing around with all the details and blurring things. I hope that you learned something. Hope you find some value, inspiration from this video. If you did, definitely hit that thumbs up button and support this channel. And if you like what I'm doing here, also hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my videos. And also leave a comment down below if there's any other thing you'd like me to talk about. So that's about it, guys. My name is Jimmy, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.